Tyr is a Germanic god associated with law and heroic glory in Norse mythology, portrayed as one-handed. Corresponding names in other Germanic languages are Gothic Teiws, Old English Tiw and Old High German Dyeus and Cyo, all from Proto-Germanic *Teiws. The Latinized name is Tuisto. In the late Icelandic Eddas, Tyr is portrayed, alternately, as the son of Odin or of Hymir, while the origins of his name and his possible relationship to Tuisto suggest he was once considered the father of the gods and head of the pantheon, since his name is ultimately cognate to that of *Dyeus, the reconstructed chief deity in Indo-European religion. It is assumed that Tius was overtaken in popularity and in authority by both Odin and Thor at some point during the Migration Age, as Odin shares his role as god of war. Tyr is a god of war and will take meat and blood for sacrifice. If a warrior carved the rune Tius on his weapon, he would be dedicating it to Tyr and strengthen the outcome of a battle to be in his favor. After a warrior has dedicated his weapon to Tyr, he should not lose it or break it. Tiw is equated with Mars in the Interpretatio Germanica. Tuesday is in fact Tiw's day, translating dies martis, name. Old Norse Tyr, literally god, plural to var, gods, comes from Proto-Germanic *Tiwaz, which continues Proto-Indo-European *Dyeus, celestial being, god, god, and *Dyeus is based in *Dei, *Deia, meaning to shine. The earliest attestation for Tyr's continental counterpart occurs in Gothic Teiws, the T rune, in the 9th century Codex of Abundance 795. The name is later attested in Old High German as Cyo in the Aws of Brun Premis of 814. The Negru helmet inscription may actually record the earliest form, Tiva, but this interpretation is tentative. Tyr in origin was a generic noun meaning god, e.g. Hangata, literally the god of the hanged, as one of Odin's names, which was probably inherited from Tyr in his role as god of justice. The name continues on as Norwegian Tyr, Swedish Tyr, Danish Tyr, while it remains Tyr in modern Icelandic and Faroese. West Germanic Ziu, Tiw, Tiwaz. A gloss to the west of Brun prayer names the Alemanni Sioari and the capital Augsburg's Isberg. The Excerptum ex Gallica Historia of Augsburg records Caesar as the patron goddess of Augsburg. According to this account, Caesarea was founded by Swabian tribes as a defense against Roman incursions. This Caesar would be the female consort of Ziu, as Dione was of Zeus. The name of Mars Thingsis is found in an inscription on a 3rd century altar from the Roman fort and settlement of Vocavicium at Housteads in Northumberland, thought to have been erected by Frisian mercenaries stationed at Hadrian's Wall. It is interpreted as Mars of the Thing. Here is also worth noting what Tacitus stated in his work Germania about capital punishment amongst the Germanic folk, that none could be flogged, imprisoned or executed, not even on order of the warlord, without the consent of the priest, who was himself required to render his judgment in accordance with the will of the god they believe inspires them to the field of battle. Tacitus also named the German Mars as the primary deity, along with the German Mercury, Hercules, and Isis. In the text, however, Hercules is the one to be mentioned the most often. Depending on translation, Mercury is stated to be the chiefly worshipped god, but other translation does not provide any sort of hierarchy among the gods. Tacitus states that Mars and Hercules receive animal sacrifices sacrifices while Mercury receives human sacrifices. In the Old English rune poem, the rune that is otherwise named for Tiw in the other rune poems is called Tyr, meaning glory. This rune was inscribed on more Anglo-Saxon cremation urns than any other symbol. There is sketchy evidence of a consort, in German named Caesar. Tacitus mentions one Germanic tribe who worshipped Isis, and Jacob Grimm pointed to Caesar, the patroness of Augsburg, in this connection. The name Caesar could be derived from Ziu etymologically. North Germanic Tyr. An early depiction of Tyr is found on the IK 190-8 found near Trollhättan, Sweden. The figure is shown with long hair, holding a scepter in one hand, and with a wolf biting his other hand. According to the Poetic Edda and Prose Edda, at one stage the gods decided to shackle the Fenris wolf, but the beast broke every chain they put upon him. Eventually they had the dwarves make them a magical ribbon called Glynir. It appeared to be only a silken ribbon but was made of 6 wondrous ingredients: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, bear's sinews, fish's breath and bird's spittle. The creation of Glynir is said to be the reason why none of the above exist. Fenrir sensed the gods' deceit and refused to be bound with it unless one of them put his hand in the wolf's mouth. Tyr, known for his great wisdom and courage, agreed, and the other gods bound the wolf. After Fenrir had been bound by the gods, he struggled to try to break the rope. Fenrir could not break the ribbon and, enraged, bit his right hand off. When the gods saw that Fenrir was bound, they all rejoiced, except Tyr. Fenrir would remain bound until the day of Ragnarok. As a result of this deed, Tyr is called the leavings of the wolf, which is to be understood as a poetic kenning for glory. During the battle at Ragnarok, Fenrir swallows Odin whole. According to the prose version of Ragnarok, Tyr is destined to kill and be killed by Garm, the god-dog of hell. However, in the two poetic versions of Ragnarok, he goes unmentioned, unless one believes that he is the Mighty One. In Lokasenna, Tyr is taunted with cuckoldry by Loki, maybe another hint that he had a consort, a wife at one time. In the Hymiskva that his father is named as the Etten Hymir, the term Hymirskin was used to kenning for Ettenkind, while his mother goes unnamed, but is otherwise described in terms that befit a goddess. This myth also pairs Tyr with Thor, and draws a comparison between the strength via the lifting of Hymir's cauldron. Thor proved the stronger, but other than Thor's own son, Magni, Tyr is the only deity whose strength is ever questioned in comparison to the Thunderers. Sigdrifumal teaches rune magic and advises one to twice name Tyr and carve victory runes on the sword hilt, presumably referring to the T rune, Teiws rune. The T rune is named after Tyr, and was identified with this god. The reconstructed Proto-Germanic name is *Teiws. The rune is sometimes also referred to as *Tiwaz, or spelling variants. The rune was also compared with Mars as in the Icelandic rune poem. Lexical traces. In the sphere of organized warfare, Tyr (Tiw) had become relatively unimportant compared to Odin, Woden in both North and West Germanic by the close of the migration age. Traces of the god remain, however, in Tuesday's Zeistig, Old Norse Dyeus, named after Tyr in both the North and the West Germanic languages, and also in the names of some plants. Old Norse Tisfjörl, Tyrialm and Tyvith, Tiswood, Tiveden may also be named after Tyr, or reflecting Tyr as a generic word for God. In Norway, the parish and municipality of Tysnes are named after the god. German Dienstag and Dutch Dinsdag might be derived from Mars Thingsis, as mentioned above. Toponyms: Chewsley, England, Old English *T Weasley, Tiws clearing. Tivild, Iceland, Denmark, Old Norse *Teiws Velot spring, Tiso, near Gorlif, Iceland, Denmark, Old Norse *Teiws Sire, Tis Lake. Thisted, Jutland, Denmark, Old Norse *Teiws Stath, Tis place, Tiveden, Sweden, Old Norse *Teiws 5, Tis wood. Tishon, Sweden, one in Vastigataland and Amp, another in Ostigataland, the Tier Lake. Possible correspondence is Duisburg, Lower Rhineland, Germany, possibly Old High German *Zeesburg, Zeus City, Tilo, Sweden, Old Norse *Teiws Lake, Tis clearing. Tyrol, Austria, through a combination Tirodal Ull, Tiseng, Viby, Jutland, Denmark, Old Norse *Teiws Eng, Tis meadow. Tisted, Jutland, Denmark, Old Norse *Teiws Stath, Tis place. Isnes, Norway, Old Norse *Teiws Nes, Tis headland. Personal names. A number of Icelandic male names are derived from Tyr. Apart from Tyr itself, Anganta, Brynthia, Hjamta, Auanta, Sigta, Valta and Vigta. When Tyr is used in this way, joined to another name, it takes on a more general meaning of a god, instead of referring to the god Tyr. For example, Auanta, raven god, and Valta, god of the slain, are Old Norse names of Odin. Tiwaz is also etymologically linked to the Anglo-Saxon surname Tyus, and connections have been made between Tyr and Tyus. Modern influences. Tyr is also the name of a heavy metal band from the Faroe Islands. Tyr is the name of a 1990 album by Black Sabbath. In the Dungeons & Dragons campaign setting Forgotten Realms, Tyr is the god of justice in the main Faeronian pantheon, in keeping with his primary role in Norse mythology. Tyr is the name of a character in Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. Tyr is the name of a triathlon clothing and apparel company, www.tyr.com. Tyr is a playable god in the online game Smite. He is a warrior class god and still retains his missing hand and fear of Fenrir.